Adonai your God is going to bring you into the land you will enter in order to take possession of it, and he will expel many nations ahead of you, the Hittite, Girgashi, Emori, Canaani, Perizi, Hivi, and Yebusi, 7 nations bigger and stronger than you. When he does this, when Adonai your God hands them over ahead of you, and you defeat them, you are to destroy them completely. Do not make any covenant with them. Show them no mercy. Don't intermarry with them. Don't give your daughter to his son, and don't take his daughter for your son. For he will turn your children away from following me in order to serve other gods. If this happens, the anger of Adonai will flare up against you. He will quickly destroy you. No, treat them this way. Break down their altars, smash their standing stones to pieces, cut down their sacred poles, and burn up their carved images completely. For you are a people set apart as holy for Adonai your God. Adonai your God has chosen you out of all the peoples of the face of the earth to be his own unique treasure. Adonai didn't set his heart on you or choose you because you numbered more than any other people. On the contrary, you were the fewest of all the peoples. Rather, it was because Adonai loved you, and because he wanted to keep the oath which he had swore to your ancestors, that Adonai brought you out with a strong hand and redeemed you from the life of slavery under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. From this you can know that Adonai your God is indeed God, the faithful God, who keeps his covenant and extends grace to those who love him and observe his mitzvot to 1,000 generations. But he repays those who hate him to their face and destroys them. He will not be slow to deal with someone who hates him, and he will repay him to his face. Therefore you are to keep the mitzvot, laws, rulings, which I am giving you today, and obey them. Because you are listening to these rules, keeping and obeying them, Adonai your God will keep with you the covenant and mercy that he swore to your ancestors. He will love you, bless you, and increase your numbers. He will also bless the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, your grain, wine, olive oil, and the young of your cattle and sheep, in the land he swore to your ancestors that he would give you. You will be blessed more than all peoples. There will not be a sterile male or female among you. And the same with your livestock. Adonai will remove all illness from you. He will not afflict you with any of Egypt's dreadful diseases which you have known. Instead, he will lay them on those who hate you. You are to devour all the peoples that Adonai your God hands over to you. Show them no pity. Do not serve their gods, because they will become a trap for you. If you think to yourselves, these nations outnumber us, how can we dispossess them? Nevertheless, you are not to be afraid of them. You are to remember well that Adonai your God did to Pharaoh in all of Egypt the great ordeals which you yourself saw, the signs, wonders, strong hand and outstretched arm by which Adonai your God brought you out. Adonai will do the same to all the peoples whom you are afraid. Moreover, Adonai your God will send the hornet among them until those who are left and those who hide themselves perish ahead of you. You are not to be frightened of them, because Adonai your God is there for you, a God great and fearsome. Adonai your God will expel those nations ahead of you little by little. You can't put an end to them all at once, or the wild animals will become too numerous for you. Nevertheless, Adonai your God will give them over to you, seeing one disaster after another upon them they have been destroyed. He will hand their kings over to you, and you will wipe out their name from under heaven. None of them will be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. You are to burn up completely the carved statues of their gods. Don't be greedy for the silver or gold on them. Don't take them, or you will be trapped by it. For it is abhorrent to Adonai your God. Don't bring something abhorrent into your house, or you will share in the curse that is in it. Instead, you are to detest it completely, loathe it utterly, for it is set apart for destruction. All the mitzvot I am giving you today you are to take care and obey, so that you will live, increase your numbers, and enter and take possession of the land of Adonai swore about your ancestors. You are to remember everything of the way in which Adonai led you these 40 years in the desert, humbling and testing you in order to know that what was in your heart, whether you will obey his mitzvot or not. He humbled you, allowing you to come hungry, and then fed you with manna, which neither you nor your ancestors had ever known, to make you understand that a person does not live on food alone, but on everything that comes from the mouth of Adonai. During these 40 years, the clothing you were wearing did not grow old, and your feet did not swell up. Think deeply about it. Adonai was disciplining you, just as a man disciplines a child. So obey the mitzvot of Adonai your God, living as he directs and fearing him. For Adonai your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with streams, springs, and water, wells up from the depths and valleys and in the hillsides. It is the land of wheat and barley, grapevines, fig trees, and pomegranates, a land olive oil and honey, a land where you will eat in abundance and lacking nothing in it. It's a land where the stones contain iron and the hills can be mined for copper. So you will eat and be satisfied, then you will bless Adonai your God for the good land he has given you. Be careful not to forget Adonai your God by not obeying his mitzvot, rulings, and regulations that I am giving you today. Otherwise, after you have eaten and are satisfied, built fine houses and lived in them, and increased your herds, flocks, silver, gold, and everything else you own, you will become proud-hearted, forgetting Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt where you lived as slaves, who led you through the vast and fearsome desert with its poisonous snakes, scorpions, waterless, thirsty ground, who brought you out of flint rock, who brought water out of flint rock for you, who fed you in the desert with manna, unknown to your ancestors, all the while humbling and testing you in order to do good in the end. You will think to yourself, my own power and the strength of my own hand have gotten me this well? No. You are to remember Adonai your God, because it is he who is giving you the power to get wealth, in order to confirm his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors, as it is happening even today. If you forget Adonai your God, follow other gods, and serve and worship them, I am warning you in advance today that you will certainly perish. You will perish like the nations that Adonai is causing to perish ahead of you, because you will not have heeded the voice of Adonai your God. Listen, Israel, you ought to cross the Jordan today, to go in and dispossess nations greater and stronger than you, great cities fortified up to the sky, a people great and tall, the Anakim, whom you know about and whom you have heard it said, who can stand before the descendants of Anak? Therefore understand today that Adonai your God will himself cross ahead of you. As a devouring fire, he will destroy them and bring them down from before you. Thus you will drive them out and cause them to perish quickly, as Adonai has said to you. Don't think to yourself after your God has pushed them out ahead of you, it is no reward my righteousness that Adonai has brought me in to take possession of this land. No, it is because these nations have been so wicked that Adonai is driving them out ahead of you. It's not because of your righteousness or because of your heart is so upright that you go in and take possession of their land, but to punish the wickedness of these nations that Adonai your God is driving them out ahead of you, and also to confirm the word which Adonai swore to your ancestors, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Therefore, understand, it is not your righteousness that Adonai your God is giving you this good land to possess. You are a stiff-necked people. Remember, don't forget, how you made Adonai your God angry in the desert. From the day you left land of Egypt till you arrived in this place, you have been rebelling against Adonai. Also in Horeb, you made Adonai angry. Adonai was angry enough with you to destroy you. I had gone up on the mountain to receive the stone tablets, the tablets to which was written the covenant Adonai made with you. I stayed on the mountain 40 days and nights without eating food or drinking water. Then Adonai gave me the 2 stone tablets inscribed by the finger of God. And on them was written every word Adonai had said to you from the fire on the mountain the day of the assembly. Yes, after 40 days and nights, Adonai gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. Adonai said to me, "Get up, hurry down from there, because your people, whom you led out of Egypt, have become corrupt. So quickly have they turned aside from the way I ordered them to follow. They have made themselves a metal image." Moreover, Adonai said to me, "I have seen this people, and what a stiff-necked people they are. Let me alone, so that I can put an end to them and blot out their name from under heaven. I will make out of you a nation bigger and stronger than they." I came down from the mountain. The mountain was blazing fire, and two tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. I looked, and there you had sinned against Adonai your God. You made for yourselves a metal calf. You had turned aside quickly from the way Adonai had ordered you to follow. I seized the 2 tablets, threw them out of my hands, and broke them before your eyes. And I fell down before Adonai as I had the first time, 40 days and nights, during which I neither ate nor drank water, all because of the sin you committed by doing what was evil in the sight of Adonai, and thus provoking him. I was terrified that because of how angry Adonai was at you, how heatedly displeased he was, that he would destroy you. But Adonai listened to me that time too. In addition, Adonai was very angry with Aaron. I would have destroyed him, but I prayed for Aaron also at the same time. I took your sin, the calf that you had made, and burned it up with fire, beat it to pieces, ground it up still smaller until it was fine as dust. Then I drew its dust into the stream coming down from the mountain. Again at Taberah, Massah, and Kibrot, Hatava, you made Adonai angry. When Adonai sent off from Kadesh Barnea by saying, "Go up and take possession of the land I have given you," rebelled against the order of Adonai your God, you neither trusted him nor heeded what he said. You have been rebelling against Adonai from the day I first knew you. So I fell down before Adonai these 40 days and nights. I lay there because Adonai had said that he would destroy you. I prayed to Adonai. I said, "Adonai Elohim, don't destroy your people, your inheritance. You redeemed them through these greatness. You redeemed them through your greatness. You brought them out of Egypt with a strong hand. Remember your servants Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Don't focus on the stubbornness of this people or on their wickedness of their sin. Otherwise, the land brought us out will say, it is because Adonai wasn't able to bring them into the land he promised them, and because he hated them, that he has brought them out to kill them in the desert. But in fact, they are your people, your inheritance, whom you brought out with great power and your outstretched arm.